12 Golden Age actors who were surprisingly short, and how Hollywood hid it. They were the towering figures of cinema's golden era, commanding the screen with charisma, intensity, and unforgettable performances. But here's the twist. Many of these legends weren't towering at all. In fact, some of the most dominant leading men in Hollywood history relied on clever camera angles, custom-made shoes, and even set construction tricks to appear taller than they really were. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on 12 classic stars whose real height might surprise you, and the movie magic used to make them look like giants. The Hollywood height illusion. In classic Hollywood, height wasn't just a number, it was part of an actor's entire image. Leading men were expected to look strong, imposing, and ready to command any scene. Studios spent time, money, and creativity ensuring that shorter stars could hold their own next to taller co-stars and still meet those larger-than-life expectations. The toolkit? Low camera angles, raised platforms hidden just out of frame, pairing actors with shorter co-stars, tailoring suits with vertical stripes and high waistlines, and controlling publicity photos so carefully that fans never suspected a thing. By the end of this list, you'll see just how far Hollywood went to protect one of its most closely guarded illusions. Number 1. Alan Ladd, the master of the apple box. Alan Ladd's icy stare and cool demeanor made him one of the most convincing tough guys in films like Shane and This Gun for Hire. But off-camera, Ladd stood around 5 feet 6 inches, and some say even less. Paramount Pictures had a ready-made solution, cast him alongside Veronica Lake, who was only 4 feet 11 inches. In scenes with her, Ladd didn't need any special tricks to look tall. But when acting with men of average or above-average height, the studio got creative. Sets were modified, with trenches dug for taller actors to stand in, and Ladd often stood on hidden platforms nicknamed Ladd boxes. Cinematographers used low angles, while costume designers added vertical pinstripes and high-waisted trousers to elongate his frame. Even Ladd's minimalist acting style, measured movements, subtle gestures, helped maintain the illusion. Large movements risked breaking the height deception, so his stillness became part of his signature screen presence. Number 2. James Cagney, the compact powerhouse. At 5 feet 5 inches, James Cagney wasn't tall, but he exploded on screen in The Public Enemy and White Heat with an energy that made him seem larger than life. Cagney didn't waste time worrying about his height. He simply outperformed everyone else. Studios used Cagney angles, slightly low camera shots, and cast him with actors of similar stature. In more challenging pairings, directors had him stand on steps, lean forward aggressively, or position him so height differences weren't obvious. His bouncing energy, rapid-fire delivery, and unpredictable movements kept viewers' eyes locked on him, not his height. Many audience members left theaters convinced he was taller than he really was. Number 3. Edward G. Robinson, Intimidation Without Inches. Edward G. Robinson, famous for Little Caesar and Double Indemnity, stood just 5 feet 5 inches. Yet he projected the aura of a man twice his size. Instead of hiding his height, Robinson relied on psychological dominance. Directors staged him in positions of power, such as seated behind desks or standing over a seated opponent. He would step into another actor's personal space, making taller co-stars seem to shrink back. His sharp, commanding voice also carried authority, proving that intimidation isn't about inches, it's about presence. Number 4. Mickey Rooney, Hollywood's biggest little star. At only 5 feet 2 inches, Mickey Rooney remains one of the shortest major male stars in Hollywood history. Early in his career, his stature worked in his favor. He could convincingly play teenagers well into his 20s in the Andy Hardy series. As he transitioned to adult roles, MGM adapted with lifts in his shoes, vertical tailoring, and clever blocking. Cinematographers even used lighting tricks to elongate his shadow, subtly adding to the illusion of height. Later in his career, Rooney leaned into the difference, using it for comedic effect, especially when paired with much taller actresses. This adaptability kept him working for decades. Number 5. Humphrey Bogart, the not-so-tall, dark stranger. Bogart's rugged charisma in Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon suggested a man of imposing size, but in reality, he was between 5 feet 6 inches and 5 feet 8 inches. When acting opposite Ingrid Bergman, who was nearly as tall, directors relied on bogey boxes, steps, and angled shots. His tailored suits and trademark forward-leaning stance kept the illusion intact. Bogart's understated movements and piercing delivery not only reinforced his persona, but also prevented side-by-side height comparisons from becoming obvious. Number 6. Dustin Hoffman, the modern underdog. Though technically not from the Golden Age, Dustin Hoffman's approach to height is a fascinating bridge to modern Hollywood. At 5 feet 6 inches, he faced similar challenges but embraced his stature when it suited the role. In The Graduate, his height difference from Anne Bancroft was used to emphasize the character's youth and awkwardness. Directors still used platforms and low angles when necessary, but Hoffman often let his height serve the story, making underdog roles more relatable. Number 7. Danny Kaye, comedy in motion. Standing 5 feet 7 inches, Danny Kaye's quick wit and physical comedy made him a sensation in White Christmas and The Court Jester. Because his performances were so full of movement, dancing, gesturing, and delivering rapid-fire lines, audiences rarely noticed when he was shorter than co-stars. When romantic or dramatic moments called for it, the studio quietly returned to old tricks, platforms, low camera angles, and expert tailoring. Number 8. George Raft, the cool criminal. George Raft, another 5 feet 7 inches star, made his mark in gangster films like Scarface. His intense stillness and piercing stare meant the audience was too focused on his face to notice his height. Wardrobe worked in his favor, with high-waisted pants and subtle pinstripes stretching his frame. When scenes required taller co-stars, Raft was placed on raised surfaces or higher ground. Number 9. Sal Mineo, the sensitive rebel. At 5 feet 6 inches, Sal Mineo's youthful appearance in Rebel Without a Cause was perfect for playing vulnerable, misunderstood teens. As he grew older, studios used traditional height solutions, shoe lifts, careful blocking, and precise tailoring. His signature hairstyle added visual height, and his roles often leaned into vulnerability, making stature less important. Number 10. Sammy Davis Jr. Talent that outshined height. Standing at just 5 feet 3 inches, Sammy Davis Jr. was an unstoppable entertainer, singing, dancing, acting, and even playing multiple instruments. His stage energy drew attention away from his stature entirely. For films and TV, he wore elevator shoes and kept his hair styled high. In the Rat Pack era, choreography and staging were designed to minimize direct height comparisons with Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin. Number 11. Burgess Meredith, precision over presence. Best known as the Penguin in Batman and Mickey in Rocky, Burgess Meredith was 5 feet 5 inches. His performances relied on voice, posture, and precision. For roles requiring authority, he used lifts and platforms. For underdog characters, his natural stature enhanced the authenticity. Meredith's restraint on screen, precise movements, deliberate speech, made him memorable without needing physical dominance. Number 12. Frank Sinatra. Confidence is the best illusion. Frank Sinatra, around 5 feet 7 inches, may have worn custom elevator shoes on set, but off-set, he radiated confidence regardless of who he was standing next to, even taller romantic partners. Directors used low angles and careful blocking, but Sinatra's charisma and self-assurance did most of the work. His presence was so magnetic that his actual height became irrelevant. From Ladd's apple boxes to Sinatra's confidence, Hollywood's golden age relied on a coordinated effort. Directors, cinematographers, set designers, and costume departments all working together to make leading men appear taller than they were. But here's the truth. Audiences didn't fall in love with these actors because of their height. They fell in love with their performances, their voices, their personalities, the intangible qualities that no camera trick can fake. So, which one shocked you the most? Did you ever notice these tricks in your favorite classic films? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed uncovering Hollywood's hidden magic, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more behind-the-scenes secrets from cinema history.